Welcome everyone to my, this is my new high definition camera. My old Canon gave out. It was called an SD-S1, I think it was. And if you guys saw me record with that, because it had a flip out LCD screen, but when I turned it around so as the camera was facing me I could see the screen, it would invert the screen and had no way of inverting it back. So I've done all my lessons up to this point upside down in this screen. Anyhow, yeah, so that finally gave up the ghost after my last lesson. I was kind of having some trouble with it and it finally went. So anyhow, we're in high def now. So this is going out to Ian. He had a couple questions on this and I checked into this song and man, it's a jammer. So I really wanted to do this. And so this is for you. This song's in normal tuning and it's really not too difficult, just some quick licks and some kind of buried licks that I was able to pull out, and we'll go over all that. Of course my notes will be below in the video. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're in standard tuning. The intro starts out with the bass snare for 2 measures and then you'll hear the guitar come in for another 2 measures for the intro. And really this is the same as the verse. So what we're going to do is be hitting an A power chord staccato 4 times. On the 4th one we'll be hitting a G note on the 6th string, and G note, 3rd fret, 6th string, pulling that down. So we'll have this. And then right back into it. So really, that is the verses. He'll repeat that when they actually start singing for the verse a total of 6 times. For the 7th and 8th time, what you're going to do is go from A power chord to C and D and a little lick there. But what we do is we're going to be plucking these strings. It doesn't sound like they're kind of palm muting, but it's just plucking at them. Remember, there's 3 guitars here. So take a power chord, 4th string, 2nd fret, open 5th string, and just pluck those 2 strings. 6 times. Then we're going to do that on C with the 3rd and 5th fret. Those will be plucked 4 times, and then the D will be plucked twice. And then you'll hear this lick. And it's just going from the E note on the 7th fret on the 5th string to the 4th string to the 4th string at 5. Do that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll make up the last 2 measures of the verse. Okay, so let's go through that pluck lick and then into the next lick that turns us around to verse 2. Alright, so we got the plucking part down. We got the little lead-in lick, 7 to 5 from 5 to 4th string. All we're doing on the 3rd string with the 7th fret with a bend and then hit unbent. We're not releasing the bend. We're going to hit it up, bent, and then stop it, and then we'll hit 7 unbent. Then we're going to take 5, hammer onto 7 on that 3rd string, and then hit 5 by itself. Again, slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then he'll do that again. That is the first verse. The second verse is exactly the same except for that lick. This 7 on the 3rd string changes up, and they actually do it 4 times. and then a little bridge into the next song. So we'll talk about that next. Verse 2 is the same. You know, we go through the A to G 6 times, and then our plucking part, and then we're into this lick on the 3rd string. Now the second time, like I said, they do this 4 times, and the whole time underneath is your basic rhythm, the A with the 4 count to G. That continues under this little lick. But let's take the first half of the second verse lick, and I'll show you how that goes. Alright, so for that first half, what he's doing, the first little half of the measure is the same that we did the first verse. What he adds is 7 to 5 pull off on the 4th string and end on 7 on the 5th string. He holds that 5 a little bit. Then he's into the next one. This next one, the only difference is a second bend, no release, when we do this lick. Then he's going to do this part. So basically we're hitting 7, and then on the 4th string, 5th fret, hammering on to 7 and pulling back off to 5. Alright, so this, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the first 2 halves of the measure. Now the next part, there'll be 2 more parts here. This third one's a little bit different again. We're going to do 3 bends on that 7, except the third one's going to be released. Alright, so it'll sound like this. Like this. Alright, so you can see our very last one is the same that we've been doing. Okay, for the second half of this lick, we're taking 7, bending it 3 times. The difference is the third time there's a release, and then we'll do our hammer on to 7 and striking 5 separately. Then we're going to just go 7 to 5 on the 4th string. And then the last one is just like the first measure. 7 bent, stop, 7 unbent, 5 to 7 hammer with 5 on the 3rd string. Alright, so let's take the second half of this second verse. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're into the third verse. Alright, so I'm going to do those 2 measures together for you. So this is the second verse lick. Alright, then we're into the third verse, which is just like the first 2 verses as far as post those licks. 6 times and then going through the plucking. And then you're into the break, which takes us into the next song, and we'll go over that. Alright, the bridge lick sounds like this. I got my harmonizer on so you can hear how it was recorded. So for this lick, we're in the 12th position between 15 and 12, and it starts out like this. I'll just stop there. Alright, so what we're doing is a bend on 15 and release, and then strike 12. It's not a bend, release, and pull off. It's not that. It's a bend and release, and then a strike. Then we'll do that on the 2nd string. and the third string going from 14 to 12. All right, and then on the fourth string, it's 14, 12, 14. Back to 12 on the third. So together, slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the next part of the lick will sound like this. Alright, so what we're doing in the second half, again I've written this out, but we're going to take 14 with a bend and release and a pull off to 12 on the third string and strike 14 on the fourth string. Then right there we're going to lay our finger down, kind of grab 14 and bend it up 3 times. The third one will be a release. Then 12 to 14 back to 12 on that third string. Some vibrato there. And then you're going to grab 14 on the fourth and fifth strings and slide that down. Alright, so we have this. Alright, it's really quick. All together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And at speed. Alright, so let's go over the next song. So now we're into Break On Through, and for this, it's an E minor. So basically what he does after that lick is just that E minor chord ringing out, and then you'll hear the bass and the keyboards come in, and then the guitar is muted. There's a couple ways to play this, and I want to show you both. The way I did it in the intro is because it was ringing out, I could start by kind of letting that sixth string ring out a little bit and move on the fourth and fifth string, still kind of muting those. Boy, that's kind of tough, but it works like this. So I'm doing that lick, and then I came in with this. Alright, so I'm going to talk about those licks next. Alright, so for this lick, what I like to do personally, you know, I showed it one way and blah, 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 but what I really like to do when playing with this is up here at the 5th to 7th fret. So the reason being is I'm in position to do the D power chord that comes in. But again, what we're doing is open E or 6th string to 7, 5th fret on the 5th string, back to 7 on the 6th string, then 7 twice on the 5th string. And again, this is all palm muted. So then what we're going to do to finish this up, 3 more notes, is 7 on the 6th string to 5 on the 5th string, back to 7 on the 6th. So all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. Excuse my guitar feeding back. I've got the P90s and I'm sitting right next to my speaker. I've got a noise reduction on, but you'll hear that screaming a little bit. So again, now if you want to do it optionally up here at the second position, we're just going to go between the open 4th string in 2nd fret and 2nd fret of the 5th string. So we'll start out on the E note on the 4th string, so that'd be 2nd fret, 4th string, to 2nd fret of the 5th string, to open 4, back to 2 on 5. We'll strike the 2nd fret of the 4th twice, back to 5 once, open 4, and 5 at the 2nd fret. So real cool lick, fun to play along with those keyboards and that. Now, in the intro, when he's hitting that E minor, there's a little lick you'll hear, and it's kind of buried in the mix. It's way to the left. And again, I used Riff Station to figure this out. I got the guitars and I took them to be isolated. And once I got to the far left, or panned left, I could hear what they were doing. So I'll go over that, and again, it's written in my notes. If it's worth it to you, we'll have it here. Okay, at 1:41 seconds, you'll hear this lick, which leads into a much more intricate lick, and I'll talk about that. But let's take this first section now. This is at 1 minute and 41 seconds into the song. So what they're doing there is taking the 5th string, striking it open, hammering onto 1 and 2, and they'll do that on the 4th string also. Then just laying your finger down, catching the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 4 strikes. Then a 5th strike on that 3rd string with a pull off to open, and striking 2 on the 4th. So you have this. All together, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they're into the next lick, which starts at 1:46. I'm going to play it, not at speed, I'm just going to play it so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so what they're doing basically are rolls. So we're going to start on the 5th string, hammer into the 1st fret, hammer into the 2nd fret. We'll do that on the 4th string also. On the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st string, we're going to be hammering into 2 and 3. Back to 2 and 3. So this all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then they come right to the 5th string with that 1st roll, hammering onto the 1st and 2nd fret, back to the 1st fret, and then you'll hear them take the 3rd string, hit it at the 2nd fret, then hit it again and pull off. Do that on the 4th string with a pull off from 2. And then just a roll on 3. Alright, so I'm going to go through that whole thing slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And really, then it gets really mushy. Almost sounds like he turned on reverse echo or reverse delay. But that's what I could make out, and that's it. 1 minute and 46 seconds into the song. So after we're doing the organ lick and those kind of buried licks, we have this. We go into the pre-chorus, which is D twice, and then 2 more times. Alright, so they're it's really a rolling lick, at least the speed they're doing this song here. So we're going to hammer on, and this follows the Doors. I didn't play along with the Doors song, but it might be picked a little more. But this is really hammered on quite a lot. We're going to hammer on from the 6th string to the 3rd fret, and the 5th string open 1st and 2nd, same with the 4th string. And then the 3rd string to the 2nd fret and open. And then 2 open, 2, 2nd fret open, and 2nd fret on the 4th string. That'll go 3 times. And it really kind of just falls under your fingers. Not real difficult, it's just a bit quick. And then they're back into the E minor ringing out in the lick. And again, I like doing that lick up here at the 5th and 7th fret just because I'm at that D position. Alright, so that's the next part. At 244, or 242, I'm sorry, in the song, you'll hear another guitar come along with the chords of the organ, and I'll show you that, and we've almost got the whole song. Alright, so this guitar will do this, I don't know, maybe for a full measure or two, and then you'll go into this other part, but there's another guitar doing this the same time. So let me talk about this first part first. We'll be on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, 9th fret of the 3rd string. We'll hit that twice. And then we go to the 7th fret of the 1st string, hit that twice, and then one more time, and then 5 on that 1st string, back to 7 on the 2nd. Okay, the other guitar is doing this. And you'll hear that become the prominent lick, if you will. So what we're doing, we're just on that 8 and 9 on the 2nd and 3rd string. We'll do it twice, twice more, and then one more time. Back to 7 on the 3rd and 2nd string, and then we're going to add the 9th fret on the 4th string, keeping that 7 on the 3rd and 2nd string. So we have this. Alright, so you'll hear that lick pretty predominantly, and then they'll go back into the E minor. So you'll hear that going on, another pre-chorus, and then the chorus. Okay, so after the next chorus, you'll hear this. So the difference there, we're going to play on the 3rd string at 12, cover the 1st and 2nd string at 15, and we'll hit it twice, and then 2 staccato hits, and then do that again. And then he goes into a little break, you know, something whine. So there's 4 of those, and then we're into the pre-chorus and the chorus. And that chorus will be 4 times at the end. The only time it's 4 times. And then you'll end on E. We're going to do E for really 2 quick measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then end on an E, and then slide off on an E. All right, so you have the whole song there. I really hope this helps everybody. It's a really fun song to play. I know I'll do a playthrough because I've really enjoyed jamming this song, and that'll help you fit all the pieces together. So I hope you enjoy.